Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, fellow humans, fellow compatriots from across the planet, I am Nikhil Parekh, a poet from Ahmedabad, India. By the grace of God, I am an author of 46 different books and also a 10-time national record holder for my poetry with the Limca Book of Records India. It is my earnest privilege that I find myself about to give you a recitation of my poem titled A Woman's World, which is a poem on women empowerment and a tribute to the chapter of womanhood. From the innermost realm of my soul, I fervently hope that the video of this poem of mine is watched by every woman out there on the planet. I shall now commence, ladies and gentlemen, with the recitation of my poem titled A Woman's World. If a man was born out of a woman's divinely womb, after, after tossing, turning, and kicking helplessly for 9 agonizingly marathon months, before tasting the first beams of light of the alien world. If a man suckled life yielding milk, comfort, and compassion from the bosom of a woman, in order to perseveringly fortify each of his bone to face the ghastly wrath of the parasitic planet outside. If a man wailed in a woman's eclectically sensitive palms, in his times of duress, felt their latent warmth as the most invincible fortress, even as the worst of hell descended on earth. If a man fervently licked his fingers clean time and again, savoring the most succulently ravishing meals on earth, even in his dreams, prepared by the artistically virile woman. If a man flirted and philandered with a woman in iridescent twilight, in order to grant his veins the most tantalizingly unparalleled exhilaration that ever existed, in order to profoundly realize the glory of his untamed youth. If a man kissed a woman with every ounce of passion that existed in each ingredient of his blood, in order to perpetually feel the quintessential reason of existence, as two souls royally blended to become one. If a man took inimitably unflinching pride in introducing a woman as his better half, as his better half partner for life, thereby demonstrating his perfect symbiosis with nature and winning the unanimous applause of one and all around. If a man If a man started to work every day with reinvigorated vigor to conquer life and its uncanny hardships. Thanks to the fearlessly inspiring smile of a woman and the power of faith in her resplendent eyes, and the power of faith in her resplendent eyes. If a man desperately sought a beautiful woman's face amidst a boundless crowd of other men to enlighten his otherwise work to enlighten his otherwise wretchedly remorseful evening with the clouds of effervescent desire. If a man resorted to the sensuous caress of a magnetic woman, shrugging millions of the currency coin, shrugging millions of the currency coin, only, only to feed, only to feel the ultimate magic of exhaling in princely desire and unconquerably alive. If a man desperately shouted the name of the woman, if a man desperately shouted the name of the woman who brought him to the world even before he remembered God, if a man desperately shouted the name, if a man desperately shouted the name of the woman who brought him to the world even before he remembered God, at the tiniest attack of the salaciously crucifying devil, if a man squeaked worse than an orphaned rat in front of a woman's door to forgive him as night fell and he frantically needed a shoulder to cry upon, as the mosquitoes of worldly commercialism chased him down to the last hole. If a man considered a woman his most eternally unshakable companion, to uninhibitedly blend with his feminist fears and tears, understand his sensitive soul to the hilt like no one else could ever comprehend. If a man needed a woman to trigger an infinite colors and spectrums of desire in his otherwise robotically routine business night, where all that was otherwise visible was plaintive cigarette smoke, tie, whiskey, dubious collapse of stocks, and unbearable strife. If a man depended on a woman to articulately assemble and sift, to articulately assemble and sift through his disorganized life, make him feel more responsible in the chapter of existence. Make him feel more responsible in the chapter of existence as he refreshingly marched forward with a purpose to serve back his own world. As he refreshingly marched forward with a purpose to serve back his own world. If a man embraced a woman for bondings more immortal than an infinite more physical lives and veritable deaths, totally unfettered as the planet viciously abused him, locked in the arms of forever providing love, locked in the arms of her ever pervading love. If a man secretly wanted to be fed, if a man secretly wanted to be fed, every morsel of his food, every morsel of his food by a woman, just like an innocuous, just like in innocuous childhood, in order to forever reveal, in order to forever reveal in the love and glory of the very best that life in its most pristinely form had to ever offer. In order to forever reveal in the love and glory of the very best that life in its most pristinely form had to ever offer. If a man wholesomely leaned upon a woman to continue his rise and name ahead, to continue his name and name, to continue his rise and name ahead, intransigently feel that the chapter of life, intransigently feel that the chapter of life had then eventually revolved a complete circle, then why the hell do you call it and rant about it as a man's earth? For whether you agree or don't agree, it always has been and always would be a woman's world. Then why the hell do you call it and rant about it as a man's earth? For whether you agree or don't agree, it always has been and always would be a woman's world. Woman's world. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. From the innermost dormitory of my heart, I hope that the video recitation of my poem, A Woman's World, is watched by every woman on the planet.